Skip to content. Protesters target JD Vance in Vermont after clash with Zelenskyy. Protesters in Vermont, where Vance and his family were arriving to ski. Protesters in the U.S. have lined a road in Vermont that Vice President JD Vance was due to drive down following his and President Trump's angry exchange with Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the White House. They held up pro-Ukraine signs on the route in Waitsfield that Vance and his family were expected to take on their way to go skiing. U.S. media reported the family moved to an undisclosed location from their planned ski resort because of the demonstrations. Hundreds of people also gathered in New York, Los Angeles and Boston on Saturday to express their support for Ukraine a day after the furious row in the Oval Office. The extraordinary scenes in the Oval Office saw Vance accuse the Ukrainian president of being disrespectful to the U.S. Trump also clashed with Zelenskyy, telling him to make a deal with Russia or we are out, and accusing him of gambling with World War III. A protest in Waitsfield against the Trump-Vance administration had been organized earlier in the week, before the U.S. President and Vice President's clash with Zelenskyy, but many signs referenced the row and Russia's war with Ukraine. I think Friday's performance at the White House has probably galvanized even more people to come out today. Judy Daly, from Indivisible Mad River Valley, the group which organized the protest, told Vermont Public Radio Vance crossed the line. Protester Corey Giroux added ahead of the Vance family's trip, Vermont's Governor Phil Scott had urged people to be respectful to them. Scott, the Republican governor who refused to vote for Trump, said, "I welcome the vice president and his family to Vermont and hope they enjoy their weekend here. It's no surprise they chose Vermont. We've had a lot of snow this winter, which has been good for our economy." He added, "I hope Vermonters remember the vice president is here on a family trip with his young children and, while we may not always agree, we should be respectful. Please join me in welcoming them to Vermont, and hoping they have an opportunity to experience what makes our state, and Vermonters, so special." Vance, who has 3 young children with his wife Usha, has not publicly commented on the protests. Counter-protesters supporting Trump and Vance were also reportedly in Waitsfield. Live coverage and analysis. Vance took the lead attacking Zelenskyy. Why? Republicans laud Trump after Zelenskyy showdown, but some expressed dismay. Ukrainians back Zelenskyy after disastrous Oval Office encounter. How the Trump-Zelenskyy talks collapsed in 10 fiery minutes. Steve Rosenberg, Putin can afford to sit back and watch events unfold. EPAEFE/REX/Shutterstock. Protesters holding Ukraine flags and pro-Ukraine signs with the words, "We stand with Ukraine, Ukraine strong and America stands with Ukraine." EPAEFE/REX/Shutterstock. Pro-Ukraine protesters gathered in Boston, Massachusetts, on Saturday.